Good evening. Welcome to the November 28th meeting of the Murfreesboro City School Board. We're really glad to have a large crowd with us tonight. Hope you'll stay until we get finished. At this time, I'm going to ask you to stand as we have 4 young people to lead us in our pledge. Banning Vaughn, a 6th grade student at Discovery School. Nora Bahul, a 5th grade student at Discovery School. Stiles Smith, a 4th grader at Cason Lane, and also Kyler Williams, a 2nd grade student at Cason Lane. We'll have our pledge followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now our moment of silence. Thank you. All right, board members, you have seen a copy of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as printed?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Communications. Ms. Trail?
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
I have a few things that's not on your list that I just want to go over really quick about some events coming up for the holidays. First of all, Murfreesboro Downtown Christmas tree lighting is this Friday, and Northfield and Salem will be helping with those festivities. I think their choir will be singing. I don't know the exact time, but just come and stay for it all, and you'll see at least 2 sets of our students. And then I think there's some Black Fox students there as well doing some acting throughout the evening. Irma Siegel will be having a choir and modern band performance concert on Thursday, December the 7th at 5:30 that you all are invited to attend. And then Bradley's Winter Showcase featuring all 4th through 6th graders will be Friday, December 8th at Patterson Park, and that begins at 6 p.m. as well. Also, I was told by some students as I was getting ready for tonight that they will also be performing at the Bethlehem Marketplace, which is next Saturday or Sunday, but they had to ask their mom which day they're performing. So I'll try to find that out for you. Overall Creek will also be hosting a district-wide practice robotics competition on December 16th at Overall Creek. This is open for our entire district just to get that one chance to practice before they go to that VEX robotics competition. Again, if you want to see it up close and personal, that's the time to come and see that. I do have a few thank yous. Reeves Rogers would like to thank Mr. Bill Campbell and the 4th through 6th grade youth group at St. Mark's United Methodist Church for donating and planting a tree at the playground. And also Redstone Financial for sponsoring Reeves Rogers with incentives for their RTI2B programs each year. And to Dr. Kate's class at MTSU for partnering with the 5th grade students on a writing and technology project. I say this all the time, we can't do it without our community partners, so we appreciate them so much. Our MCS outreach team actually worked with several of our partners this past Friday to deliver Thanksgiving meals out to several neighborhoods. I think they delivered over 200 meals. I may be wrong on that. I think it's right at 200. Additionally, the Tracy and Becca Lawrence Foundation, which is called Mission Possible, provided over 100 families with complete Thanksgiving dinners. And that was on Wednesday, November the 20th. And I have to say thank you to Mitchell Nilsson staff for coming out and helping us with that project. And then last, but certainly not least, Discovery School applications open December 1st. The first informational meeting is actually tomorrow night at Discovery School, and there'll be another one on December 12th and January 11th. But everything that you need to know about applications for Discovery School is on their website, and that's discoveryschoolexplorers.net. That's my communication, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good. All right, Dr. Duke, the best of MCS.
Good evening, board, and welcome back. I feel like it's been a few weeks since we've had a meeting here in the chamber, so it's nice to be back and to have somebody with us tonight. But we are excited to recognize our November Best of MCS honoree and publicly thank her for the hard work and the difference she's making in the lives of students. So I'm honored to ask Ms. Carla May from our school nutrition team to join me at the podium. Ms. Carla, as she's lovingly referred to at Overall, has served in our school nutrition department for 22 years. And during her tenure with us, she has served as the assistant manager at Bellwood, at Black Fox, and she's currently the assistant manager at Overall Creek. Recently, she was described to me as the precious hidden gem in the Overall Creek cafeteria because she is well known for showing kindness, grace, and care to the students who go through the lunchroom each day. Ms. Ortiz, our principal of Overall, told me that Carla is a hard worker and a good person. She not only cares about her work, but about the people that she works with. She has the biggest heart, and she wants to help in any way that she can. She is always smiling and happy to see everyone. And although she works in the kitchen, Ms. Ortiz tells us that you will most often see her out in the cafeteria interacting with the students, asking them about their day, and helping them open something. She truly cares, and it shows. This admiration was shared by Ms. Batts, who's a first grade teacher at Overall, who actually nominated Carla for this recognition. She told me, she said, Ms. Carla goes above and beyond to serve every student as an individual. She gets to know them, she recognizes their patterns of behavior, their purchases, and more. And because of this, she can identify when something may be going on with the student. She treats them accordingly, she intervenes as best she can, and makes sure she notifies the teacher and support staff. Ms. Batts told me that Ms. Carla has the best heart, and she is all around an amazing person and an asset to Overall Creek. And I would say what a gift it is to have someone like Carla not only working in our cafeteria, but who has done it for so long, so well in our school district. Sandy Sheely, our school nutrition supervisor, echoed this and says that it's her hard work and dedication that not only fills the bellies of our students, but puts smiles on their faces when they see her. Ms. Carla told me, she says she really enjoys being part of so many students' day, and from her perspective, lunchtime is probably the best part of a lot of children's day. I know it was mine. She says she tries her best to bring positive energy to them and let them know that they are seen and they are heard. Ms. Carla, on behalf of our district, let me thank you for the hard work you put in every day to make sure our students are seen and heard. It truly takes every employee to help us accomplish our mission in this district, and we are so grateful to have you on the team working with us, so thank you for representing the best of MCS.
Thank you. Woo!
I want to recognize her son, Alex, who came out with her tonight as well. So thank you, Alex, for being here.
All right, spotlight on education, Dr. Duke.
Thank you. We're going to continue the celebrations. I know some of our tenured teachers may be walking around here for a second to get in place. Give us just a minute.
Well-oiled machine.
Let everyone get in place, so if you'll bear with us just for a minute.
Don't want to come back.
We good? All right. We are getting them ready. So for our spotlight on education tonight, we will be recognizing our 33 Murfreesboro City School educators who have completed all the necessary requirements to obtain tenure in Murfreesboro City Schools. And this really is a great accomplishment that we want to congratulate these teachers on. The board formally approved awarding this designation during our October board meeting, and we are thrilled to have some of these employees here in person tonight to be recognized. As the board is aware, to be eligible for tenure, these employees have completed the required number of years with Murfreesboro City Schools, which shows their dedication to our district and their commitment to our district. But not only that, they've also obtained an overall performance effectiveness level of above expectations or significantly above expectations for the last 2 consecutive years. So tenure is not just about completing a number of years of service. At the heart of that, it's saying that they are dedicated and committed to our district and that they do their job very well every day. So I would like to invite our Director of Human Resources and Educator Effectiveness, Ms. Johnson, to the podium to proceed with recognizing these individuals.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Also, we want to thank all the friends and family that have come tonight to be here to witness this celebration as well. But we also want to thank our recipients again for your dedication, your hard work that you exhibit each day in our classrooms, our schools, and our district. So we'll get started with celebrations. Yeah. Okay, first, Devin Ryan from Black Fox. Beverly Sanford, Black Fox. Woo. Mary Dobbs, Discovery.
There you go.
Devontae Kelly, Irma Siegel. Woo. Melissa Rising, John Pittard. Mary Beth Skipworth, John Pittard. Gina Lasivita, Mitchell Nielsen. Jennifer McDonald, Mitchell Nielsen. Janae Todd, Mitchell Nielsen.
Oh.
There's Mommy.
Elizabeth Truesdale, Mitchell Nielsen. Emily Weber, Northfield. Bippy Tidwell, Overall Creek. Woo! Taylor Brown, Salem. Janie Cunningham, Salem. Woo! And Kelsey Bond, Scales.
Yeah.
We had several recipients that were not able to be here this afternoon due to other engagements. I'm going to briefly just say their names. We had Laura Anderson, Nicole Jones, Maureen Pfeiffer Holmes, Cara Beringer, Holly Berry, Allison Harris, Allison Norton, Taylor Ball, Jennifer Simpkins, Olivia Tabor, Stephanie Van Wiekel, Brittany Davidson, Savannah Hoover, Sarah Priam, Christina Simmons, Courtney Pregel, Abigail Chapman, and Jessica Uverard. Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you very much, and a special thank you to all those teachers. My goodness, what an accomplishment that is. Next on our agenda is time for public comment, but we have no one to make a public comment tonight, so we will move on. Consent items. Board, do we have a motion to approve the consent items as printed?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. Action items. Board Policy 6.3041, Title IX.
Title IX regulations require the school district to identify specific individuals as Title IX coordinators in our school board policy. This policy has been updated to reflect staffing changes to delineate Title IX coordinator roles for students and staff. We recommend approval to changes to Board Policy 6.3041 on first and final reading. And I can vouch these individuals have been thoroughly trained as of last week.
All right, do we have a motion to approve Policy 6.3041, Title IX, and sexual harassment.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. Approval of the 24-25 district school calendar.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Tonight we are presenting the proposed academic year calendar for the 2024-2025 school year. This calendar meets all the requirements of state law and the guidelines put forth by the Tennessee Department of Education. The first day of school for students, fall break, spring break, and winter break all coincide with Rutherford County Schools calendar as well. The calendar utilizes 5 stockpile days for teacher professional development and reserves 8 stockpile days for inclement weather. This calendar was developed with input from our Teacher Advisory Council, a parent feedback group, and principals were also given the opportunity to provide feedback. And this is, again, a major initiative that our Teacher Advisory Council works on every year. So I would like to invite Donna Carr up to the podium. Donna is the current reigning, Teacher of the Year for Northfield Elementary. And of course, our Teacher Advisory Council is made up of all of the Teachers of the Year. And I'd just like for Ms. Carr to kind of talk about the role the Teacher Advisory Council took in preparing the calendar for this year.
Thank you very much. I do want to thank our board members for giving me an opportunity to represent our Teacher Advisory Council in presenting the proposed 2024-25 calendar for the board's consideration. I am truly thankful for the time and experience, the expertise that Dr. Duke and Dr. Presnell, Ms. Arnett, and Ms. Johnson have shared with us as teacher learners and contributors to the Teacher Advisory Council. I am very honored to represent our TAC and all of the amazing teachers that are serving on this council this year, and very excited to present the recommended calendar to the board. In preparation for developing this calendar, the TAC spent a full meeting learning about the Tennessee state requirements that must be met in a school year, including instructional time for students and professional development for teachers. Dr. Duke and Dr. Presnell ensured that the council understood how stockpiled hours are accrued and used for inclement weather and professional development. The council looked at multiple options to meet the needs of our students and teachers, including maintaining the 12-hour individual professional development requirement. Fall and spring parent-teacher conference days were built into the calendar on Mondays and Fridays to avoid midweek disruptions, and consideration was also given to our stakeholders, including families who have children in both our school district and our neighboring school district, and how attendance is affected by conflicting calendars. As a group, we considered and prioritized the options. The calendar reflects the options that receive the most support from the group, as well as the most support from our school principals. On behalf of the Teacher Advisory Council, thank you for considering teacher input valuable and for reviewing the recommendation for the 2024-25 MCS calendar.
Thank you, Ms. Carr.
Thank you.
I don't think I can say any better than that, other than we are recommending approval of the calendar as presented.
Do we have a motion to approve the calendar as printed?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. Well, wait a minute. I got to get my computer back going. Next item on the agenda, Dr. Duke.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the Bearcom contract. Pursuant to Board Policy 2.808, a cooperative purchasing agreement with Bearcom for the purchase of security materials is submitted to the board for approval as the cost of the goods and services exceed the $50,000 threshold. Tennessee Code Annotated does allow for school districts to participate in cooperative purchasing agreements based on the terms of a master agreement with an agency. The total cost will be determined by Bearcom based on the total number of security apparatuses secured. Cost will be over the $50,000 threshold, but will be within the line item approved by the board earlier during the budget process. And we are recommending approval of the contract.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the Bearcom contract.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. approval of resolution for paid parental leave.
Yes, sir. In May of 2023, the Tennessee General Assembly passed Public Chapter 399, which authorizes 6 weeks of paid leave for the licensed employees of a school district at their regular compensation rate for birth, stillbirth, or adoption of the employee's minor child. The law went into effect immediately upon the signature of the governor, and districts needed to interpret and enact the law prior to receiving state guidance. School systems continue to receive updated guidance from the Tennessee Department of Education relating to the reimbursement of both gross pay and the employer's share of benefits for employees eligible for taking the paid parental leave under this new law. It is recommended that the board adopt a resolution to appropriate funds to cover potential gaps in reimbursement for paid parental leave expenses in the event that reimbursement is not provided for the Tennessee Department of Education. I did get several questions regarding this, and so I want to make sure that the board is fully aware. So I did ask Ms. Bush to spend a little bit of time kind of making sure we understand the reason behind the resolution so that everyone can feel fully informed before they vote.
Yes. So paid parental leave will be considered a fringe benefit, meaning that it's a benefit that's not necessarily included in the compensation package that we provide for our licensed employees. In order for the school board or the school district to provide a fringe benefit for an employee, it's got to be adopted into board policy and then adopted into your budget during the budget planning process. Because this law was adopted in May, and we received guidance, the first set of guidance documents from the State Department of Education in September, and then a second set of guidance documentation from the State Department in October, that clarified how the department is interpreting this law and how it will provide reimbursement. There is the possibility that we may provide paid parental leave to a licensed employee that would have been eligible potentially under the law, but not receive reimbursement from the state. I think the other concern that we are hearing from the State Department is that there's not enough money allocated from the state level for the reimbursement for this. So there's also the possibility that that money is not there when we do submit the reimbursements. Ultimately, though, the Tennessee Department of Education is the body that is going to determine what they will reimburse and what they won't. And we do have to pay that paid parental leave prior to reimbursement. So a lot of times we're paying the cost of that paid parental leave and we're being reimbursed on the back end. There's the possibility that we'll expend some amount of money, unsure of how much that will be, and we'll bring that back to the board for information purposes as we move forward in the year and have a better idea of how this impacts us long term. Kim, do you have anything to say there to that? Nope.
I think really, as we think of this guidance, as I mentioned to several of you today, as Ms. Bush said, the law was in effect upon signature by the governor, which was, I think, in May. And as Ms. Bush stated, we didn't actually receive the first set of guidance until 5 months later. So we immediately started implementing this, and really, again, because this is ultimately a fringe benefit, this is really just a resolution saying the board understands, as from the district office standpoint, our intention is to obviously follow the law, but we understand that if there is some confusion, we're going to more than likely, we will err on the side of the employee. And so there may be that situation where we perceive that an employee we think is eligible, and then the state come back and say, well, this one is not. We don't expect it will be huge numbers. It's going to be a learning curve probably during this second quarter for sure. But we just want to have this in place to kind of help, so the board is fully aware and is supportive of the idea that as we wait for this ongoing guidance, that we will continue to, again, if we make an error, we will do that in favor of the employee.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, now,
You need a motion? Would you like me, have we made a motion? Oh, sorry.
we have a motion to approve the resolution.
Do we have one?
did.
I will, oh, we did, okay, I apologize.
Now, question.
Is there a fiscal note, I imagine, from that sort of dialogue that we just don't know? It's an unknown of unknowns. I thought you'd like that phrase.
There are many unknowns, and there's a total budget across the state of $15 million, and more than likely the state will run out of funds based on the reimbursements. We just filed our first quarter reimbursement, and that went back to May 11th. It was just over $84,000. And we know that it's in the review stage based on the questions we're getting from our state fiscal consultant. They're asking very detailed questions and asking for additional documentation. So we're working with our Human Resources Department to provide certifications, and then our payroll department to provide very detailed information. And we are getting additional information. There was a state conference 2 weeks ago, and it was really just a 50-minute interest session that became the belle of the ball, so to speak. So, more questions than answers. The State Department of Education, their local finance department, is working very hard and with their legal department to answer these questions as quickly and accurately as possible. So a lot of our fiscal guidance and the fiscal notes are changing and evolving. However, we do suspect that the funds will run out much sooner than anticipated.
So does that sort of put us in an unfunded mandate category, or maybe that's a bridge too far to say?
Yes, it might. My hope is, I won't say that, especially when we're dealing with certified staff in federal dollars. Those are fixed amounts, and with our title funds especially, are formula based and are not going to change. So I hope that soon there will be additional funds appropriated at the state level. I really don't think they realize just how much that would cost. So.
And if I may, I think again, at the core of this law is a very positive law. It's giving our employees this paid leave. I think with the rollout that kind of took us all, we were kind of trying to figure it out as we were getting questions from staff with few guidance documents. So I would not be surprised. I obviously don't speak for the General Assembly. I would not be surprised if there's not some revisions made to this law during the General Assembly, because the state's been very forthcoming in saying they do not anticipate the amount that the General Assembly allocated will be enough to cover it, as the law is written very broadly to include any licensed professional. And I could possibly see a situation, it's pure speculation, where they may clarify that, or they will increase the funding of it, one of the two.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
But
Let me intercept here 1 minute. Now we need a motion to approve the resolution. I don't think we've had that yet.
That's
So
correct.
do we have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Now, now we have questions. All right, who's next? Mr. Ballard?
so I wanted to follow up on Mr. Richardson's comment, just to be clear. It is an unfunded law which has been passed down. Now, I don't know how you dress that up or change that, but basically we're to do it and the check's not in the mail.
It's not unfunded yet, but the law had enough wiggle room, the legal term there, enough wiggle room for there to be some need for clarification when it came to the definition of licensed personnel. So the one question that was, for example, clarified by the State Department of Education in October was a teacher on permit, if they counted as a licensed teacher for purposes of reimbursement. And the state came back and said, no. We have pushed back on the state a little bit and asked for some clarifying guidance, because those individuals do have licensure status within Tennessee Compass, but we have yet to receive additional guidance from the state there. But that's just one example of a time where we may err on the side of the employee and provide paid leave for that employee. Again, a fringe benefit that's not necessarily approved by the board or budgeted by the board. But this resolution, when it comes to the audit and when it comes to applying funds to that line item, that will help us kind of cover our bases when we come back for an audit next year.
If I can, I think probably the concern is the General Assembly absolutely dedicated funds for this. And that is funded. The concern that we continue to hear is, did they allocate enough funds based on how the law is now being interpreted?
And this is only for licensed personnel, right? This resolution?
Yes, the paid parental leave law is only for licensed personnel. So this resolution is to cover any amounts that are distributed pursuant to this law to what we would interpret as licensed employees.
Okay. Ms. Dodd and then Ms. Moore.
So I guess this is a Miss Kim question. So let's just pretend that they are not going to pay us anything. I know they will, but let's just say they're not.
Hope they will.
Yeah. So how much, is there an estimation about what this would cost us per year? I mean, it's a great thing. I'm all for it, but I'm just wondering, in case we get $0, is there an estimation? Have you thought about that?
Yes, and and if we look at some of our teachers' anticipated leave throughout the year, we anticipate the number to increase. And if we're and again, it depends on several things, and one of them is the medical insurance, and that is a high cost to the district coverage. So very preliminary, we looked at, I'm hesitant to even give a dollar amount because it's fluctuating so much.
Well, we know it's just an estimation.
Yes, it would be at least $200,000 to $300,000. And again, it depends on where it falls in the fiscal year. The timing of it is very different than some of the, when they actually are paid versus when they accrue the leave. So some of this year's expense could actually fall into next fiscal year. So I do believe that we will be reimbursed, if not all, then definitely most of this $84,000 that we have requested. And we have picked up every eligible benefit and deduction that we can. And I'd say for the most part, $10,000 to $15,000 per person, depending on how long they're at.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, didn't answer that well.
Moore?
I just want to clarify kind of the mechanism we're using to do this. So it's a resolution. Is the reason we're doing a resolution because we just said we don't have numbers to do like a budget amendment. It's not really a policy change. And so a resolution is just something that we've all agreed on paper for the auditor's purpose, basically. If there's this gap and we're filling in money, that's why it's a resolution, because there's not really another thing that it fits.
Yes, there's not really, because you don't want to adopt a policy.
Right.
We have adopted a policy that aligns with state law, but again, guidance from the Tennessee Department of Education may impact who is eligible for reimbursement under their guidance. And so we'll obviously comply with that guidance as it is released, but we are being reimbursed after we distribute the paid leave. So there's always the possibility that we distribute leave they come back and let Kim's group know this is not eligible for reimbursement. Under this resolution, it allows us to allot funds for that without there being a policy or a budget amendment. And so to the extent that there is an audit of our paid leave, they're not going to say, well, you didn't allow for this or allot for this in policy. So you basically provided a fringe benefit to employees without a policy or without a budget line item for that.
Okay, Thank you.
I think it's important to note too, if I may, that the policy that we adopted that says this, again, I think this is where some of that confusion is, specifically says that we provide this to eligible employees. And that's the language in the policy. And so that, again, is where we have the most concerns about where there may be some discrepancy. Again, I'm not anticipating this to be a lot of employees. I think it's going to be a one-off or a two-off here and there that may occur, and most likely that I'll say may already be on leave. And I think that's what Ms. Bush is getting to as well.
Thank you.
I just think it's a great opportunity to see the fastidious nature of our local school board acting in a prudent way that covers all of its bases, covers everybody in the MCS family, juxtaposed with the state legislature putting their hands in local government when they don't know what they're doing and don't know how to fund it.
Amen. I guess we could use part of that $1 billion from the federal government.
Just give it away.
Might as well. All right, we have a motion, we've had discussion. Are we ready to vote on the resolution? All in favor of the motion to approve the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. Revenue and expenditure report. Ms. Williams, you're back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. So we have some certainty here, unlike some of the discussions that we've had a little earlier. So still very early in the fiscal year. We are collecting our August sales tax, and those numbers did come in about just under 3% higher than this time last year. So I'm grateful for that. So our property taxes came in, just the total amount came in again more than this time last year. It's still very, very early in the calendar year and the fiscal year for collecting property taxes. Again, we won't see the big dollars roll in until the fall and in the winter. So our revenues are consistent with let's say a little bit increased from this time last year, which I'm really glad to hear. Our expenditures are again consistent with what we have budgeted and in line with our projected monthly expenditures for our labor benefits and material supplies and utilities. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
We have a motion to approve the revenue and expenditure report.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Any questions, comments? Thank you, ma'am. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Reports and information, budget preparation calendar.
Yes,
That
sir.
time of year again.
Sometimes it feels like it's always that time of year, but we're excited. Board Policy 2.200 requires that a budget preparation calendar be developed no later than January 1st of the current school year. The calendar is used to guide for coordinating the budgetary activities of individuals and groups, collecting budget data, reviewing budget issues, and making decisions. The timeline provides dates to ensure the budget is prepared in an efficient manner that meets local requirements. No action is required on this, but we are providing it to the board for their information in alignment with board policy.
Thank you, sir. A lot of work to be done. Enrollment report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just 1 second here. Have the pleasure of talking with you about our enrollment update. That should come up on the screen here. What you have before you is a packet of different spreadsheets that you've seen over several meetings. This is a quick summary. Enrollment is looking great. Things are looking lower compared to last year. I won't read through each of these, but you look at a 10 to 30% decrease compared to where we were last year for this time. Excuse me. We have about 70 more students as well. As we take a look, this is our average daily absences for the year. So this is reported based on the number of students on average that are absent per week. So I wanted to share this. During period 4, when I come back in January, I'll share a comparison to last year as well. As I stated in the very beginning, those numbers are lower. The highest absent rate was about 696 students the day that Rutherford County Schools had school that was out for in-service. Otherwise, we've had low numbers throughout the school year. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Mr. Chair, if I can, I don't know if you could put that first slide back up, Ken, or Mr. Rocha, or John, whoever that is. Thank you. I do want to point out, and Mr. Rocha said it, but I want to echo again, if you look at that current period of 9,418 students, which is an increase of 70 students, we're watching that really closely. And Mr. Rocha, correct me, probably in the last 2 months, we've probably seen a pretty significant increase in our student count at a more rapid pace. Is that fair to say?
That is correct.
So just want to keep that on the board's kind of mind. You know, when we met at the beginning of the year workshop, we were looking at numbers that were really consistent with where we ended last year, and it just seems, well, it's very noticeable in the last few weeks, a pretty sharp increase in students that we're seeing come in. So Mr. Roach and his team is watching that pretty carefully.
Is there a particular place that they're landing or
Scales,
scattered throughout?
Scales, Black Fox, Salem, all are seeing pretty significant increases. I don't know if you have additional information.
That's about right.
Mr. Rocha.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good report.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Personnel report.
You have been provided the personnel report in your packet tonight, and we're happy to answer any questions that the board may have regarding that.
How's our bus driver head count?
I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Barch because it's his favorite topic, Mr. Ballard. So I'm going to let Mr. Barch talk about that.
He's walking up like he's got it well under control.
Yes. Yeah, good evening. Sorry, I had my coat on. I was helping with the celebration. So anyway, we're about the same to report on where we were from the last board meeting. Like I said, we get onboarded, trained, and then a few other leave. We have 15 or 10 to 15 people that are driving for us right now that could retire tomorrow. And we're 10 short. So we have a 25 flux. So that's, but you know what? I'm really proud of them because they're hanging in. And they're working very hard, especially to only have 2 days where we've had to delay routes.
Yeah.
It's been nothing short of a miracle.
Very good.
And I'll just echo that. Mr. Barch has worked with Mr. Rome, our transportation supervisor, to really do, I'll just keep saying Herculean efforts to keep our buses rolling and provide that reliable transportation. So we're really thankful to have Mr. Rome and his team over there doing some really good work in the bus barn.
All right, a little discussion coming up on internet safety measures.
Yes, sir. Board Policy 4.406 requires that the board receive an annual update on internet safety measures as part of a board meeting. And so I'm going to let our technology supervisor, Ms. Zavisa, present that to us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
The following measures are implemented as our internet safety measures. All staff and parents of our students are required to sign an internet use agreement. This addresses the appropriate use of the internet. A district email is not provided to students. All staff provided with a district email sign an agreement of acceptable use, and this acknowledges that the use of a district email is not for personal use. Our internet service provider, Education Networks of America, or ENA, provides content filtering services to block access to any harmful, obscene, or pornographic material. Cisco Umbrella, and additionally, is on each device as another layer to block the receipt, sending, viewing, or downloading of inappropriate content. Security rights for both students and teachers block the ability to download or install any software. Additionally, these rights do not allow access to any servers or any of our infrastructure. Network access to other users' documents is also blocked. Students and staff are unable to delete any history on devices, and searches and attempted access are all monitored through logs. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Sounds like you're getting it well under control.
That's our
Thank
job.
you very much.
Thank you.
Inclement weather at school closing procedure. Ms. Trail.
Here I come. All right, so contrary to popular opinion, this is not my decision. I just get to make the call. So, but I do want to just say that deciding whether we close early, come in late, close for the day, it's a decision based on a lot of facts that come together, a lot of people working together to make sure that we're making the most appropriate call we can make. When we decide to close school or change hours, we try to make it as early as we possibly can. Sometimes it's not as early as we'd like to, but weather changes and weather changes overnight, and sometimes it changes at 4:30 in the morning. So we are doing our best with that. But for school closings, we do alert the local news as well as Nashville media. Our websites are updated with all the relevant facts as far as if teachers are supposed to come in, whether 12 months are supposed to come in, if ESP is open, which sites are open. So all of that information is put on the websites immediately, as well as our social media. So all of that kind of happens all at one time, it seems like. It's really nice if we know a night before, but a lot of times it is that 4:30 in the morning sprint is the best way to say it. Finally, an all call is made and an email is sent to all parents and all staff members so that they know that what we're doing on that day. Again, we try to use every means we have possible to make sure people know quickly what the decision is for the day. I do have to say, like, it's fun to talk about the snow days. It's a lot of work to do the snow days. My team is up with me at 4:30. Dr. Duke is calling me, but I'm calling Kevin and Tori as well, and it just takes a whole team effort to make it happen. So anyway, I wanted to say that. We do have 8 stockpiled snow days in our calendar this year. And that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's hope you don't have to use any of those snow days.
Ooh.
We'll take a few of them.
What?
I said, we'll take a few of them.
Oh,
Love snow days.
Oh, we don't say that around here. We want to use a few of them.
oh, I'm sorry.
You forget. You forget how good those snow days are.
Can be.
Well, every day's a snow day in my house. Now, all right, report from the TSBA Leadership Conference. I apologize to each of you. I'm so sorry I didn't get down to that conference this year, but health conditions in my house kept me from it. But we'd like to kind of hear back from some of you that went and some of the highlights maybe, and maybe even a negative that you saw. Barbara, we'll start with you. I saw you and Amanda's picture as the delegate.
Yes, we were. It was a good conference. 2 days of leadership conference and then the convention itself. So it was good overall. There was an artificial intelligence session that I went to that was very enlightening, a little scary. But, you know, just the pros and cons of artificial intelligence in our day and time and how we use it in the district and how it is available to absolutely anyone. So the only negative is the 4-hour speaker that we had.
The 4-hour speaker, one person?
One person, 4 hours. One person. Nobody has that much to say, but that's my only negative.
That's a big one.
Tag, you're it.
Me to talk. Well, I went. I was there on Friday, and I think what I liked most was the legal Q&A. We had a legal Q&A where board members got to ask the lawyers questions. Well, what if this happened? What if this happened? That is when you learn the most, is when people are asking questions just on the spot and the lawyers are giving you these answers. And of course, the answer is always depends. You know, yeah, y'all know that, don't you?
It depends.
So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. And the thing I enjoy about being there too is being there with my peers, my other board members. It gives us a chance to talk, have lunch, and those type of things too, because we don't get to do that.
Right.
in much. We don't get to, collaborate together much as far as how was your day and how's your family and that sort of thing. So I really enjoy that part of it.
Okay, very good.
I'll add one more thing. So Barbara and I got to serve as delegates for city schools on Saturday. There's a delegate convention where delegates from all the school systems across the state vote on what TSBA's legislative agenda for advocating for school boards and public schools will be with the General Assembly when it starts in January. So that was really interesting. So they have resolutions of different topics that we would like to see pushed before the General Assembly. So we got to vote on those, which is interesting.
Did you find any that were presented by individual school systems?
Yes, some were presented by TSBA, and then individual school systems can also present resolutions for all the delegates to vote on. So some of those were approved and some
Interesting
weren't.
things on the table, for sure.
Yeah. That's always a good part of the convention. Okay. Jimmy, did you make it?
I did.
All right. What'd you do?
Paid attention for once.
That's a plus.
It really was incredible to be in a room filled with people that care about educators and education and children. I mean, it's always incredible to come together and see that diversity of individuals coming together for a singular cause. I would say that there was probably a more earnest concern about state overreach, legislative overreach, governing from afar. I think that's probably more palpable than it's been previously. But it was a lot of fun. It was great. I'll be there next year, God willing.
Okay. Very good. Wes, did you make it?
No, but I was watching TV to see if Dolly was going to be on Opryland. I didn't make it this year, but it's a great event.
It is a good event, and I'm sorry I didn't make it, and I'm sure you're sorry you didn't too, but there are other obligations in life, I guess, but sometimes never mind. All right, thank you. All right, Dr. Duke, you got anything else you want to say tonight?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, anything else come before the board? I see nobody with a mention, so we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. All in favor? Aye. Good night. Thank you, folks, for being here with us.
Thank you.
Come back.